Super, super. So, welcome everyone, and we all know why we're here. We are here because a lot of us have been tearing our hair out. Our kids are extremely stressed about the changing visa rules, about everything that's going on. It's utter chaos when it comes to visa regulations, policies, caps. And interestingly, this session was not even on our calendar, okay? And I don't know why. We should have done it, like we should have thought of it. But Ritu texts me one day, like this was literally last week, Ritu. You texted me saying, why are we not doing a session on visa policies? And I was like, yeah, we didn't think of it. And instantly, Ritu said, you know what, let's do it. And she was very happy to lead it. And I mean, for anyone who doesn't know her, she's the founder of Edu Crossroads. She's one of the highly experienced independent counselors in TOC and general in the industry. We are very, very happy to have her lead this session. Ritu's been a part of a few other sessions in TOC in the past. So we're very excited to learn from her also because she has 100% record of visa approval so far. Don't hold her to it.
I'm
But the
keeping my
fact
fingers
is,
crossed.
yeah, let's just not, yeah, nazar nahi lagate, nazar nahi lagate. But it's a great record and not making any claims in the session at all. But she's here to share best practices and I think as a group, everyone tries to figure out together what's being done and how difficult cases are being managed, etc. Ritu, without any further ado, over to you.
Okay. So thank you, TOC, and thank you, Bhakti. I hope I'm audible. Can everybody hear me? All right.
Yes.
So thank you, Bhakti. Yes, I reached out to you and thank you for accommodating at a short notice. I really felt that this session is something that will benefit all. And that's why I reached out to you because I think a lot of queries were coming on visas. And I think this is a critical time. And already the students have started their visa applications and visa landscape is changing rapidly. So I thought maybe it will be a good time and a session to look into the nitty-gritties of the process, how overwhelming the processes could be, and how to tackle the adversities that may or may not come to our students. So it's basically to help everyone understand the process. Though I'm not an expert, I don't claim to be an expert because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are doing international student applications and admissions, and they understand the process very well. So I don't claim to be an expert on this, but yes, since last few years of my experience, I'm only going to share my experiences here and maybe gather some insights, learn in interim. I'll also be able to learn a lot of information from you, but that is the focus. Just to, as Bhakti has said, in my introduction. Thank you, Bhakti, for saying that I had 100% record so far. Yes, but let's hope that it continues. The streak continues. So without much further ado, let me start with the session. Sagar, can I can share the screen, right?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Oh. Okay. Can we begin?
Yes, please.
All right. So as you all know, this is the student visa edition. The presentation form where I will be presenting a lot of facts and I'm sure there will be a lot of questions available after the session, which I will try to answer as in to the best of my abilities and capabilities. So if somebody wants to interrupt, maybe Sagar would know how to kind of look at it. Otherwise, we can, at the end of the session, we can always take question and answers.
Just very quickly to keep it engaging and conversational. Guys, feel free to ask your question if it is with the context of what is being spoken about.
Yes.
Let's keep the context in mind. If you have a question that's relevant to what's being discussed, go for it. You can raise your hand. Ritu, you just you may not be able to keep an eye on people raising their hands. So we will just kind of, I think Sagar, just let Ritu know if someone's raised their hand, okay?
Yes, because because my screen,
Yes.
I can only see my presentation and a few of you.
Yes.
That works.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much. And here we go. A disclaimer, the landscape is constantly changing. So I have tried to update it with a lot of information. But in case of something, probably because of my missight or something, please add whatever new information you have to the for the benefit of others. All right. So let's begin. Of course, it's overwhelming. This is my standard PPT, so just, yeah. So this is what we are going to cover today. We are going to cover the type of visas, work restrictions and pathways, documents required, steps in the visa application processes for these, particularly these 4 countries. This is what we are going to cover today. Of course, the 4 countries that we chose today for the session is US, UK, Canada, and Ireland. But definitely a lot of other countries are in the play, are in the forefront. And probably sometime next time, we can cover those countries too. So this is what we are going to cover today. And let's begin with the elephant in the room, which is the US, because most of the kids are going to the US. US is still the hot favorite. So I think let's look at these. Now, US, just to kind of give a standard for those who don't know yet or who are familiar, the US student visas are actually categorized into F1, J1, and F1. Most of our students will go for F1 because that's for the academic programs, whether it's a degree, diploma, or a certificate. But academic programs for the school and high school students and the college students is what they will be getting F1 visas. J1 visas is mostly for the exchange students or for the short-term programs where they are going to, say, for example, students are going to work with a research professor in the US university or going as a research intern. So those are the J1 visas, and M1 is basically for the vocational visas, for the vocational programs, which are non-academic in nature. And the major difference between F1 and M1 visa is that at F1 visa, for the F1 visa students, you are able to work, but for M1 visa students, you're not allowed to work during the course of study. So flight schools, cosmetology, cooking courses, all these courses fall under M1 category. We would look at, so the visa process for all the 3 remains same, just a little bit of documentation difference could be there, but most of it remains the same. And since our students mostly go for F1 visa, which is the primary visa intake, let's talk about the F1 visas. Now, F1 visas, just to kind of quickly look at the process, of course, as all of start getting I-20 from the universities. Now, I-20 is the document that the universities will send the student based on which you will start your visa application process. DS 2019 is a document which is sent for the M1 visas. I-20 for F1 visas and DS 2019 for M1 visas. Now, to get the I-20 from the university, the student must fill the financial affidavit forms or the declaration forms and submit their financial documents. These financial documents, a lot of times the parents and the kids ask what kind of financial documents are required for getting the I-20. The safest is the bank statements, the saving bank account statement or the sponsor's bank statements, last 6 months, and the bank balance certificates. FDs are also allowed, but they do not require any kind of CA tested certificates or PF accounts or PPF accounts or mutual funds or shares and stocks. They would not look at that. They would only look at the bank loan approval letters or the FDs or the bank statements, bank balance certificates. These are the primary documents that should have at least 1 year of living expense plus the tuition fee demonstrated in these accounts. That is the financial requirement for getting an I-20. Then, of course, the next step is to submit the DS-160, pay the service fee, and then create your profile on the US portal docs and take the appointment by paying the visa appointment fee of this year it's 16,095 rupees. And then, of course, you wait for the appointment slots to open up, and then you do the OFC appointment, which is a biometric appointment, and then the consulate appointment, which is basically the visa interview. Now, till the visa interview and the approval of visas, it's very clear. But once the kids go there, they're not aware of what happens once they're there. So when they go to the at the entry port, the CBP officer or the border officer will admit you into the country, and you'll be given an I-94, which is an arrival and departure record that needs to be filled by the student at that point of time. And that's where it will officially be declared to be entering into the country, and the process follows. So this is a simple application process for acquiring F1 visa or M1 visa. So now there are a few rules which are very, very important to know when we do the F1 policy. And these include the newer rules that were set in post-Trump came in. First, of course, you will not be allowed to enter the United States on your student visa more than 30 days before the start date. Many kids have got the visas already, but they should not be entering the country, entering US earlier than what is expected out of them. So they should not be entering more than 30 days in advance. Now this one, the new policy that came in, the newest change that happened is the second point, which is F1 visa holders can only spend up to 5 consecutive months outside the US during their academic program. And if they spend more than 5 months, then their F1 visa and the service records can just go invalid. Now, what does that mean? For the universities, like, in fact, I had a chance to speak to Minerva University people during our interaction, because Minerva University and many other universities have these programs which run which have these conditions of going to different parts of the world for their study exchange programs and for their other the entire cohort moves, right? So this is very important point. And universities are speaking to the authorities to kind of reverse this, but nothing has happened yet. It may take some time. Universities are speaking to the Trump administration. Maybe this will be reversed, but as of now, only 5 consecutive months is what you are allowed to use. Otherwise, your F1 visa is will become invalid. So make sure that the students know this. The other thing which is very, very important that came into play was that F1 visa students are now eligible for immigrant visas. F1 is a non-immigrant visa, but F1 students, upon their completion, the highly skilled people are now eligible for immigrant visas. So they will be allowed immigrant visas. Of course, there are conditions that are set in, but they will be allowed immigrant visas. Other than that, F1 visa students who are into STEM OPT, they may be employed by startup companies. These are the new rules that have come in starting January of 2025. Others are the older ones, which basically tells us that F1 students may work only, can have the on-campus job. They are not allowed to work off-campus. They're only allowed on campus for 20 hours per week. But on-campus employment is specific to work that takes place on or at an off-campus location, which is educationally affiliated to that particular university. They can also be allowed off-campus job only if they have completed 1 year of full academic year in that program of study, and they meet the conditions led by the immigration that they're eligible for economic hardship waivers. And because of the economic hardship waivers, they are allowed to work for off campus for more than 20 hours a week. So that is the scenario. So F1 students, especially the students that we deal with, when they go, they're only allowed on-campus jobs, and that to 20 hours a week. They cannot work off campus unless and until there is a complete set of rules that they follow, and they cover the prerequisites that allow them for an off-campus job. Of course, we all know about the CPT and OPT. I think it's very important for the counselors and the general educators to know what is the difference between CPT and OPT, because it's though the students would know that when they go to the universities, and they will be able to speak to their international student advisors, and will be able to know what the CPT and OPT mean. But yes, just to kind of give you a brief differentiation, CPT is integral to your major and can be done, can be availed only when you're going for an internship or a co-op, which is part of your program. And CPT is available only after the completion of first year of study. And you should not have 12 months of CPT. Because if you have more than 12 months of CPT, you are not eligible for OPT. So most of the kids will do, maybe they will not complete the 12 months. They'll complete 11 months and 20 days for the CPT to stay eligible for the OPT. So these are the few nuances that the kids must know when they are going for their studies, because they will have to venture out and look for CPT and OPT options. OPT can be completed before or after the graduation. There's a pre-completion OPT and the post-completion OPT, which I'm sure the universities will be able to put a lot of insight into when the students are there. So, and OPT, of course, today, I think Jayasurya was mentioning about the EAD, Employment Authorization Document, that once you complete your studies for the post-completion OPT, you need to have the EAD document, which is basically you have to fill the form I-765 to get the EAD, and then you can start your OPT. So that these are the few things. Other than that, yes, post-completion OPT, the students can transfer to another school or institution during that 60-day grace period that the students get post-completion of OPT, or they transfer to another non-immigrant or immigrant status by filling the requisite forms, or depart US. These are the only ways to stay legal in the country. Next one.
Ritu, just very quickly, before we move on,
Yeah.
I see a couple of questions in the chat, and I think
Yeah.
because this is very, very extensive, if we can just take a minute to see if any questions specific
Sure.
to what's
Sure.
been covered till so far.
Sure.
Anjali has a question. Vijay has put up a query. Anjali, you may have asked this in context of something that Ritu said. Can you just unmute yourself and ask your question fully, please?
Yes. You just mentioned that, maximum 5 consecutive months can be taken off from the university. So is it in the PPT, it was mentioned for the whole academic program. So is it per year, or like it's like in total 4 years of program?
No, so it is per year.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, super. Vijay, do you have a question that you want to quickly rephrase?
Yeah, sure. So, ma'am, one of my student had gone for a summer program, and she holds a F1 visa, and the validity of it is until 2029. Yeah? So now my question
2020?
2029, yeah? And now the student is now going for bachelor's program. Okay.
Yes.
So my question is whether this will be considered as a I-20 transfer case, or student need to apply for a fresh F1.
So for this student will apply for the fresh F1, though the F1 is still valid, but the DS-160 form needs to be refilled, and it will be Dropbox. So DS-160 needs to be refilled. There will be no interview per se, but there will be a drop box that this kid has to go for, submit the documents and then go.
And you meant to say that again, the F1 will get issued, right?
F1, so they will see. So they will ask for the passport if it is still so if the F1 is still valid, the child will be able to go on that F1 unless and until the expiry date of the program falls later than the expiry date of the current F1.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
So if the I hope this answers your question.
Yes.
Otherwise the new set of F1 visa will be issued. Otherwise, if the expiry date is not beyond that and the F1 visa will remain valid, the current existing F1 visa will remain valid till the entire study, then the DS-160 form has to be filled and service fee has to be paid, and then Dropbox appointment.
Ma'am, just a small question again. So this time again, student got the I-20 from the university, and so the new I-20 unique number needs to be entered into DS-160 application, which we are filing just now, right?
Yes. So new I-20, the new I-20 will have the service ID number. With that service ID number,
Right.
the new DS-160 needs to be filled, and then the service fee has to be paid. And again, you have to go to the profile that the child must have created earlier on the US portal docs, create a new application, and then complete the process. And when you complete the process, you will see that they will ask you for a drop. They will ask a question that do you have a valid F1 visa? If you say yes, then they will ask for the expiry date, and then they will give you a Dropbox appointment.
Got it. Got it.
So,
Thank you.
Thanks, thanks, Ritu. Thanks, Vijay. Yeah, go ahead, Namrata.
Yeah, Ritu, with the same question, Vijay, what Vijay asked, if the visa, F1 visa is only valid for 2 years more, and the students, of course, the course is for 4 years, and he is going for a Dropbox, will a new F1 also be stamped, which is valid for?
Yes, it will. So then so they will see, and then they will stamp it for the longer duration of the
For longer duration. Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I think we can move on, Ritu. Go for it.
Thank you. Now, these are certain concerning trends over the last but it's more media frenzy, I think. But at the same point of time, we should not consider, take it as a pinch of salt. But yes, it's real right now. A lot of things are added to it because of media, but some parts are real, and there is a concern. But at the same point of time, there's nothing to be panicked about. We are tracking the situation, and I'm sure things will be much better. However, few things that Trump announced, which is very, very important to note here. Visa interview appointments are now linked to DS-160 confirmation number. Now, this is extremely critical. Till the last year, what used to happen was that there were so many students who would take the appointments with one DS-160 confirmation number, and then they will change the DS-160 confirmation number because they got into their waitlisted universities. They changed the university, but they had already taken. What they do is, at the last moment, they will fill the new DS-160 form, change the DS-160 confirmation number on the visa appointment profile page, and then appear before the interview that was already planned. This year, that will not happen, because you will not be allowed the visa interview. Even if when it is already booked, the slots are already booked, you will not be allowed inside till the time they match your DS-160 confirmation number with the visa appointment. So this year it's very clear you will not be allowed any kind of change in the DS-160 numbers if you have taken a visa appointment based on that DS-160 number. Unless and until you let go of that appointment, close that application on the profile, and start a new application. So make sure that kids, because I know the kids are now getting they are planning to change these things, please make sure that we tell them that what is the right thing to do. They will not be allowed the same interview slot if they are changing the DS-160 confirmation number. Increased scrutiny at entry points. It is, though we say that it may not be there, but the cases have been notified, not everywhere, not all of them, but yes, increased scrutiny at entry points have been noticed. So make sure that our kids know that they have to cleanse their social media. They have to be very, very careful, and no nonsense business when they are entering the country. Increased visa rejections this year has been observed. I'm really keeping my fingers crossed. But yes, increased visa rejections have been observed. So make sure that things are, we prepare our kids for the visa interviews very well, because they are going to be very stringent questioning also at the visa interview. It is also said that the university, the authorities are asked, the visa officers are asked to have certain number of rejections every day. So they will be rejecting. So make sure that we do not give them any red flags during the visa interview. So the red flags that could be possible are the kind of universities the kids are going to, the low confidence with which the kids are speaking. There is also a possibility that for students going for computer science or technical courses, visa interviewers may ask a couple of offline random technical questions. There is also a possibility that visa officers will ask, of course, they've always been asking proof of funds and who's going to sponsor, why this particular university, why this particular program, what are your plans of studying, coming back to India. All these questions are very important questions, but more important, what will you be doing, or how will you be utilizing your degree in the US to connect it back to how will it help you in building a career in India? So those answers are very, very important to address. I'm sure kids have been doing it, they know how to do it, but if there is a hand-holding required, maybe they should have information about the universities that they have applied to, what kind of universities, what kind of programs, nuances about the program, not the set answers that, oh, this professor has been very nice, the answers should not appear scripted, but at the same point of time, they need to be valid answers. So I think one or two mock sessions with the students would really help them build that confidence. Longer processing times are expected. Mass visa revocations happen. We know that the visas were revoked. And we also know that the service records were reinstated. Service records were reinstated, but visas have not been reinstated. So most of the cases, visas are still not reinstated, only service records have been reinstated, which means that students can continue to study in the universities in the US, but they may not be able to enter and exit the country. That's what it means when we say that service records are reinstated, but visas are still not reinstated. So that is something that needs to be on the lookout. Strict immigration and work authorization rules are going to for visa renewals are mandatory now. If visa expired more than 12 months ago. So visa renewal interviews would be there. We all know that the federal funding cuts are there, which can impact the scholarships and the funding for the master's, undergrad, or the PhD students. So it's important to kind of keep this in picture. And why so for the visa, from the visa point of view, is because when the visa interview asks you, okay, you are going for a PhD program, you have got the scholarship and the funding from Harvard or MIT or Stanford, but then the federal funding is going to end. How are you going to showcase the funds? Who's going to sponsor your education? So at that point of time, there could be a red flag. So federal funding cuts may or may not impact the visa interviews at this point of time. Of course, we all know that introduction of gold card has come through, and there is a possibility that EB5 visa will be impacted. There are talks, but then there is again a timeline for the EB5 to be waived off, and only gold card will exist. So these are certain trends that have come from the Trump. And if there are any particular questions here, I can address that. Anything, or otherwise we move.
Hey, Ritu, just a quick question. You mentioned about the DS-160 being changed in case the child gets through the, the wait list and all. What if the child has already gone through the interview, got the F1 visa, then how does it works? How does it work?
So if the child has already gone through, if the child has already gone through the visa interview, has already got the F1 visa approved for a particular university, and then the new university comes into play where he really now wants to go, he has to fill another DS-160 form. He has to again get the service fee transferred, close the current application on the profile, take the visa appointment again with the new DS-160 confirmation number, apply for the new F1. And while she will be applying for the new F1, the old F1 will get cancelled and the new F1 will be issued.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Hi, Ritu. So, quick question, Ritu. Now, the visa has not come through. The DS-160 appointment slot has not been taken. But the child had an I-20 waitlist got done. So now he wants another I-20. So what is the process for that?
So if the visa interview has not been done, if the visa interview has not been done and the visa slots have not been taken yet, right?
Yes.
Then in that case, you can close that application, the profile, on the US portal docs, and create a new application with the new DS-160 confirmation number. That has come, that will come when you will apply with the new service ID on the new I-20. That's the process. So you have to fill the new DS-160 confirmation. You have to fill the new DS-160 form. You have to pay the service fee, and then you have to take the appointment with the new DS-160.
So it's okay if the child has two I-20s, right? Like that's fine. Two issued I-20s.
That's not
what
a
I wanted
problem.
to check.
You should start the visa process with only one. You cannot have
perfect.
two DS-160 confirmation numbers mentioned or two DS-160 forms done and booked with one slot.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Ritu, I had a question. So, does the university selection, like if a student is, admitted to the, if I say Ivy Leagues, or top ranking STEM universities or any liberal arts top universities like top 20 versus, a lower rank university, does that impact? Like, is it kind of the higher rank universities will give you a better and an easy access to visa, or it's the same for all universities?
Okay.
The rejection rate and acceptance rate.
Question, Shilpa. I think the rankings and the repute does matter. It may not have mattered in the past, but last few years it has mattered. Though visa rejections also happen for the top universities, it could be because of some other reasons. Maybe funding was not appropriate, or there was some other mismatched information in the DS-160, or it could be that the child was not very confident. So I would not say either or. It is possible either ways, but yes, the reputation does matter, and the lower ranking tier C, tier D universities may raise a red flag, because then there are a lot of much better universities in the home country which the child should have studied in. And this is the question which the visa officer is going to ask for the students who are going to the tier C universities. The visa officer is going to ask this question no matter what. And if the kid is not able to address this question very confidently with valid reasons, the visa rejection is going to be there most likely.
Thank you, Ritu. Thank you.
Yeah. Can we move ahead?
Yeah.
Okay. Now comes UK. So if anybody has any questions on US visas, which I can, in my own capacity, can handle or address, you can always ask after the session. United Kingdom. Now, UK application process is not as tedious as the US. But yes, there are a lot of nuances that are taken, that needs to be addressed, that needs to be looked at. Unconditional at a bachelor's or a master's level, whenever you are at whatever level you are going, it is very important. Unconditional offer letter, then you will get, you will be able to pay the deposit. Then you will get a CAS document, which is confirmation of acceptance of studies. This is the CAS document that is issued by the university. Unless and until you have the unconditional offer and the CAS document is issued to you, the student cannot start the visa process. And for UK visa application cannot start more than 3 months in advance. CAS document will not be issued also by the university. In certain programs, ATAS certificate, which is mainly for the technical courses or the research-oriented courses, probably at a master's level, is required, which the university will issue. Once all these documents are done, then you can start your Tier 4 student visa application. Now, for the Tier 4 student visa application, please note, this is very, very important point. The mention of the right qualification of the education in the form. Because, for example, if the university is going, if the child is going to, say, University of Edinburgh, which is a Scotland university, versus, say, UCL, which is in London, which is in England. Now, according to the national framework of the qualifications, the qualifications differ. The levels of qualifications differ for both Scotland and England. And they will mention that particular thing in the CAS document that the university sends. But the form, the Tier 4 student application form, is very generic in nature. You will have to actually see when you are writing, or when you are picking up the standard, the level of education that the kid is going for. You have to be very, very careful of what level you are picking, because you have to match it with what is there in the CAS document, which usually the Scotland universities will not be able to mention in a very standard form. So there is slight research that goes in there, which needs to be done before filling that information on the form. And this is very critical. The students should know this, because they often make an error in this regard. And then pay health surcharge as a part of the application, which is this year it's 776 per year for the student study. So if the kid is going for 3 years, so 776 British pounds per year. That's a health charge that needs to be paid as part of the application. Your visa fee is 524 British pounds. Submit the application, book an appointment. There is no interview. So that's the best part for visa application to UK. There is no interview. And premium booking is available at VFS. So that is all clear. But there are certain very critical points to remember. The most important rule is the 28-day rule. That is very important, and the kids and parents must be told this rule way earlier than you start the visa process. They must know this rule, because there are financial implications to this rule. So 28-day rule, I will explain it to you in the next slide. TB testing is required from the specific approved TB centers, testing centers. Tuition fee for a year. So this is basically the requirement of visa, how much funds you need to show. So the how much funds you need to show is tuition fee for 1 year and 1,483 pounds per month up to 9 months as living expenses for courses in London. London means London and its 32 boroughs. And outside London, if the university is, then 1,136 pounds per month as a living expense. So that is the total cost that we need to, total funding, bare minimum funding that we need to show in the bank accounts. Tuition fee and this living expense for minimum 9 months is what needs to be shown. Now, coming to the 28-day rule, which is very, very critical to know. You must have, and this is taken from the website, the student visa website. You must have this money for at least 28 consecutive days. And the end date of that 28 days. Now, how much money are we talking about? We're talking about 1 year of living, 1 year of tuition fee plus 1 year of living expenses based on which part of UK you are in, London or outside London. As per my last slide. You must have this money for at least 28 consecutive days, and the end date of 28-day period must be within 31 days of the date you apply for your visa. Now, what does that mean? That means that if you submit your application on 1st January 2021, this is an example, you should have the funds in your bank account for at least 28-day period ending on 1st December. Which means that if we are planning to submit the application on 1st of January, the bank accounts should have the minimum amount and balance not even dropping for a single day from, I think, 1st of November onwards, 3rd of November onwards. So basically 2 months. So make sure that the parents know this, that the fund, they cannot fund their bank account on the last moment and show the funding. For at least for 2 months, they should keep the funding that is required in the bank account and making sure that not even one day the balance goes down. So that is very, very important rule. Parents don't realize this, and they wait till the last moment. And then when they start then suddenly cash document comes, and when they start the visa process, then all the hell break loose that, oh, we don't have that kind of funds. We can't show the 28-day rule. So this is something that the parents need to know. For UK, you can work part-time during your studies, typically up to 20 hours per week during the term. Graduation, you're eligible for graduate route visa, valid for up to 2 years, 3 years for PhD holders. Graduate route visa is also for seeking an employment. But the graduate route visa cannot be extended. After this, you can switch to the skilled worker visa route. And skilled worker visa route is valid for up to 5 years. And if after 5 years of being on a skilled work visa, the applicants may be eligible to apply for ILR, which is basically infinite leave to remain in the UK, which means they will be able to stay in the UK without any work visa requirements. So this is on the UK. Is there anything that needs to be spoken about? Okay. Before, there's one more slide on the UK. Now, these are the changes that has happened, recent changes. International students, excluding those on the postgraduate research courses, are no longer permitted to bring family members as dependents on a student visa. Earlier, it was allowed. But very recently, this rule has come where international students can no longer bring family members to the UK on a student visa. And the required monthly maintenance funds have increased. The figures that I've quoted in my last slides, last to last slide maybe, that's the increased amount, which is from January 2025. And very recently, in fact, this will be also true for the current students. Your students are already in the UK. The BRP that was issued to them in last cycle or last to light cycle, the BRP was actually the study permit that they were using, right, to study there. BRP is no longer valid. It is replaced by e-visas. So even the current, this is also from January 2025. So if it's no longer valid and it's replaced by e-visas, students, so the students are already there. They have already been advised by their respective universities to replace it by e-visas, and the process has been told to them. But for the students who are going to go now this cycle, the additional step will be to create their UK VI account. Once their application is approved, the tier 4 student application is approved. After that, the UK VI account has to be created, through which they will get their e-visa. Earlier, it was a BRP. They had to collect the physical BRP from the university or the post office after they have reached UK. But now they have to create the UK VI account and get their e-visas. So this is the most recent change that has happened when it comes to UK student visas. Can we move ahead? Any questions? Are there any questions, Siddha?
Ritu, I just wanted to understand what are the modes of funds which are acceptable for
Yes.
UK? Is it the same as US?
Yes. So in UK also, the mode of fund that is valid is again the savings bank account, FDs, or the student loans, bank approved letters, or the sponsorship letters.
What about mutual funds?
Nothing. I would not. So mutual funds, stock statements, all of that is applicable when it comes to Canada, but not US and UK.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Can we move ahead?
Ritu, just a small question. When it comes to education loan, this 20 days norm doesn't apply, right?
The 28, yeah, so it will not apply. Yes, it will not apply, but they may look at when this loan was approved. Was it a last minute approval or was it well in advance?
Got it.
Yeah, but then 28-day rule will not apply.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. To add that it doesn't matter whether you apply it at the last moment or it doesn't matter.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, Ritu, that it doesn't matter whether the loan is approved at the last minute or so. So
It
this is
should
because
not
we are.
matter because 28-day rule is not applicable to the loans. Loan is
Yes,
any
yes.
which way is certified by the bank, it's approved by the bank, so that is not an issue. But they may or may not even look at it in terms of the date it's approved, but just to kind of be on the safer side. UK visas, I've not seen any rejection stories as of now, though immigration is still tightening in UK also. But as compared to the US, rejections are quite less when it comes to UK. Can we move ahead?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, Canada. I know a lot of discussions happened around Canada because of the geopolitical situations and the change of government and housing and resource allocation was not there. A lot of things happened in Canada in terms of which actually impacted their student population. However, it's very important to know that Canada this year, last year it was very less, but this year Canada has started picking up again. Maybe because there is a lot of speculation about the US, but Canada has started picking up again this admission cycle. So it is, maybe there are certain students who are still looking at Canada as an option. Having said that, before even we discuss, I know of so many students in Canada who have been able to get the job opportunities that they were looking for, or the co-op programs that they were looking for. But definitely they were from the good universities doing STEM-oriented, skill-based programs, which are very important. So if you are looking at somebody who's going for a diploma in a community college, that may be an issue. But universities, good universities like Waterloo, UBC, UOT, I have seen students getting the offers, the job opportunities that they wanted to do. So that is one thing that I wanted to say. There is so student visas in Canada, there are two documents, study permit and a temporary resident visa. Now, temporary resident visa is what is stamped on the passport and given back to you. That is the TRV. It's only made for, it is only used for entry and exit into the country. But the initial study permit, when you apply, and because of that, they give you a TRV. That TRV is meant to be a study visa. It's a temporary resident visa, which is a study visa and not a visitor visa. However, it is just an entry-exit document. The actual study permit, which is a one-pager study permit, it's a document that you will get on the port of entry. And these two documents are separate documents. The TRV is separate and the study permit is separate. And the study permit that you will get on the port of the entry once you enter Canada, the validity of that study permit should be same as the validity of the TRV that is issued. Most of the times it is the same. Sometimes if there is an anomaly, you can always extend your study permits. That is one thing. Again, the same thing applies, that if the study permit is valid and TRV remains, gets invalid, or TRV is expired, then you can stay in Canada, complete your study, but you will not be able to move out of Canada unless and until you extend your TRV or reapply for your TRV. So it's very important for kids to know that these are the two different documents that they must understand about. Now, here is the application process for Canada. And Canada visas are extremely tricky and complicated. Rejections are easy to come around because of a lot of reasons, not only because of the documentation and mismatch and an overwhelming process, but because there are genuine cuts in visa approvals. So visa rejections are easy to come around, which leaves us with no room to error. Now, this is the process. IRCC GC key activate. So the GC key activation, this is how the IRCC portal will open up for the students. They have to create their profile, create their GC key account on IRCC portal, and then activate their application. Before they activate their application, they need to have PL, which is called that they get from the universities. Last year, when the PL was announced, when the PL was introduced, it was only for the bachelor's program. But this year, this cycle, this fall 2025 intake, even PL is being given to the master's student or PhD student. So PL is an essential document. So once you have got the PL and the GIC of Canadian dollars 20,635, GIC is basically guaranteed investment certificate, where you make a GIC account with a Canadian bank and deposit 20,635 Canadian dollars. It's your money, it's students' money. The account is in student's name, but this is the living expense of 1 year that the immigration authorities are guaranteeing you with, so that kids are taken care of at least for 1 year. So every year, every month, kids will get some amount of this in their checking account once they go to Canada. Conditional and unconditional LOAs, which is letters of acceptances, and the offer letters are required. There are 3 applications as a part of a complete application process that the kids have to fill. Of course, then after all the documents are uploaded, I'll talk about the documents that need to be uploaded. But after all the documents are uploaded, and these 3 forms are filled, then you submit the application. There is again no interview, only biometrics appointment, and the passport submission request comes, which tells us that the visa is approved. That is one thing. Now, these are the documents that are required, which are very, very critical and important. Academic transcripts, letter of acceptance and the offer letter, birth certificate translated in English. It's very important to translate the birth certificate. If it's not in English, then it needs to be translated into English. It needs to be an official translation. Financial evidence, which will include your GIC, your bank statements, CA attested net worth statement, letter of financial support, other investment proofs, PF, PPF statements, property papers, everything needs to be there as financial evidence. And as much as you can show. In fact, they say that we need 1 year of expense, 1 year of tuition fee, and 1 year of living expenses. Consolidated amount should be demonstrated as the evidence. But the more you show, better your chances are to get the acceptance. Of course, IELTS, a digital photo with the specifications, evidence of work as a mandatory. Now, many universities will offer, particularly Waterloo, will offer mandatory co-op programs. So there needs to be an evidence of work as a mandatory component of your study that needs to be uploaded, because you will need the study and work visa. You will not need only study visa. So for that this evidence is required. Medical exam acknowledgement slip. There is a medical exam that needs to be conducted by, again, specified, approved medical practitioners. The most important document here is the statement of purpose. In Canada, SOP is the make or break of the visa process. Of course, financials are also, but at the same point of time, SOP is equally critical. We need to demonstrate the roots, the reason why we are there, why we are doing a particular course, how will it help us when we come back to our country. So basically, what we prepare for our visa interview in the US, everything has to be there on the paper for Canada visa. It's a statement of purpose. It is extremely critical. Then the visa application fee and biometric fee. It is also extremely critical to make sure that the roots are established in India. Though everybody knows that when you are going out, you may not want to come back to India, but it needs to be proven that you have. So that's why property papers are important. That's why some form where you would want to say that I want to come back because there's a very, very compelling reason for me to come back is extremely important point when you need to mention that on your statement of purpose. Points to remember for Canada. International students can work 24 hours. Last year, it was 20 hours. Now it's 24 hours per week off campus during academic terms and full-time during breaks without a work permit. As per 2025-2027 immigration levels, Canada's temporary resident population this is the new change that has come in. This is the new regulation after Trudeau left and the new Prime Minister has sworn in. He has said that the capping is at 5%. Capping of international students will be at 5% by 2028, which means there will be capping of study permits and capping of approvals also. So this is something that may impact the visa acceptances, which also means that there will be tightening of PGWP eligibility, postgraduate work permit eligibility. It will depend on what programs you're doing, what institution you're doing it from, It will also depend on the students are already there applying for PGWP. They need to take their English IELTS or English proficiency test again, because that's now new condition for PGWP eligibility. There's also, this is also an important announcement. They want, outside Quebec, they want to increase the Francophone immigration, which means French-speaking population. So if you have French skills, French language skills, the students have French language skills, they are at an advantage when it comes to PR and when it comes to PGWP. Changes in granting PR, skilled and professional degree holders have an advantage, but not the diploma holders or not the just community colleges. They've just gone to some just 1 year diploma, those or certificate program. Those people will have the problem. This is about Canada. Any questions on Canada? I see a lot of things on chat. Maybe if there are any particular questions, I can address those. Otherwise, I'll move to the last segment, which is Ireland.
Hi Ritu, Kanchan.
Yeah, Kanchan, hi.
Yeah. I recently heard like some students said that they were asked to take an in-demand course. So what do we mean by that in Canada? Like, we know short skilled workers and long-term skilled workers in Australia, but in Canada, what do we mean by in-demand courses or in-demand?
So yes, they put list. I have not evaluated that list, but on IRCC website, they have put the list which is in demand. So for example, it could be engineering, it is nursing, healthcare professionals. So these are the few in-demand courses: technical courses, engineering courses, nursing professionals, healthcare, medicine. These are in demand. So, and there are many more. I'll have to kind of evaluate that list, but the list is available.
Just very quickly, Ritu, this is Bhakti here. You've been
Yeah.
made the host. Asagar and I have to drop off for our weekly meeting
Sure.
for the chairs. So over to you, and thank you so much. Once
Thank
again, I'm going to give my quick 1 minute thank you to you. Super engrossing. I have been listening to every word, I promise. And I didn't know a lot of the stuff. I'm not an expert at all on visas or even counseling, but it was very, very, very insightful. Thank you so much. And the fact that 47 people are still here on this call, it speaks volumes. So thank you so much, Ritu, and over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhakti. Thank you so much. Thank you, Siddharth. Any other questions on Canada, or otherwise we can move ahead?
Yeah, Ritu, I have one question. This is Vartika here.
Yes, Vartika.
For the visa, somebody told me that for Canada, it is not enough to show a loan sanction letter. The loan should have been transferred into the account of the student or the parent before the visa is applied for. Is that true?
Okay. So loan sanction letter alone is definitely not enough. Loan sanction letter is important, but at the same point of time, I'll not say that loan amount needs to be transferred to the account. If it can be, wonderful. Otherwise, we need to still show some funds in the bank accounts of the parents, because it's not only about the loan approval, it's also their capacity to pay the loan. So if the loan amount can be transferred by the bank before or disbursed before the student goes and gets the visa, fair enough, good enough. If not, then still the parents need to show some of the funding in their bank accounts.
I would like to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to add to Kanchan's query. I mean, what she is looking for. So normally, this visa officers always wants to look bank accounts and bank sanction loans from nationalized banks or private banks. So if you have taken any loan from any cooperative bank, all right, or any citizen bank, then you'll have to transfer it to your saving account and then show it to the visa officers. Because normally those banks, those who are not RBI regulated, they tend to be very much weak and visa rejection rates are right. So in case if you have any education loan which is from a cooperative bank, then only we have to transfer it to your saving account. Otherwise, normally all nationalized banks, private banks are good to apply for the visas.
Good. That's a good thing to know. And yes, I have had students who had loans from HDFC and who had loans from ICICI. So there the amount was not transferred to the parent or the kid's account. But yes, I asked the parents to have some funding shown in their bank accounts, which they did. Yeah. Any other thing? So last thing that I'll move to is Ireland. But there are chat questions. If there is, I'll take the question on the chat a little later. Let's complete this Ireland thing, and then if there is a time left, then I can address the chat questions. Okay. The last segment is Ireland. Now, Ireland is very overwhelming when it comes to documentation. It's way more overwhelming than Canada. The reason being that the documentation requirement is huge. Long stay, the long stay visa application, that's what we will go for when it comes to student visas. It's a long stay student visa application. The application checklist is this. And it's a very, very detailed, very elaborate process for submitting these applications. Printed and signed application filled online on the VisaVitals portal, or there is a new online ISD application portal this year from Jan 2025. No, actually not Jan, June 2025. This new online portal is being announced. So we still have to see how this portal will look like. But earlier it was VisaVitals portal. That is where you will fill the online application form, take a printout, sign it, and keep it intact. Then there is supplementary student application form. There is VFS payment and visa. These are the steps and the process, that is the checklist that is required. All passports, missing passports must be fully explained. So there is every segment of the documentation that needs to be uploaded, that needs to be shown at the VFS office, must have a cover letter above it. And in that cover letter, every explanation needs to go. So if there are passports, missing passports must be fully explained in that cover letter. There has to be a CV, letter of application or statement of purpose. This needs to be there. Unconditional, of course, unconditional letter from the Irish University. Course fee payment for 1 year, if including electronic fund transfer. So you will have to show the electronic fund transfer receipts, the SWIFT payments, or whatever the receipts that are there. It needs to be shown. Previous qualifications, including originals and DigiLocker documents. There's a English language test results, financial summary forms, evidence of declared finances, including personal bank account, private medical insurance, police clearance certificates, and they're non-negotiable. They need it. If applicable, a letter disclosing all previous visa refusals in any country, from any country. If there are any visa refusals, they need to be addressed in the cover letter. We have to tell them the reasons why this was refused. So, and every single part of it is non-negotiable. It has to be done like this only. And it's very elaborate process. Very elaborate documentation required with cover letters for each set of documentation, as I mentioned. Visa application can be submitted 4 months in advance of the course start date. Student applications received in the visa office less than 3 weeks prior to the course start date will not be considered. And it's a rule. Again, it's non-negotiable. For courses longer than 8 months, now this is important. This is the new change that has come in. For courses longer than 8 months, students need to prove access to 10,000 euros for the first year, plus the course fees for the subsequent year. So this is the bare minimum amount that needs to be financially proven in the form of documents or the evidence. So 10,000 for the first year, plus the course fee for the subsequent years. If the course is not longer than 8 months, then the complete fee, whatever the fee is, needs to be shown. International students can work for 20 hours a week during the academic term and 40 hours a week during the break term. Students don't need a separate process to convert a student visa to the work permit. They can apply for a non-renewable extension. This is upon the completion. After completing their course, they can apply for the extension for up to 2 years to and they need not convert the student visa to the work permit. And post completion of study, they can also go for third level graduate scheme, which is still that possibility is also there. So these are certain points to remember in the island visa. Now this brings the end to my 4 countries that we thought we will discuss today. Any questions, anything that anybody has to ask, I would be happy to take those questions now. So there have been few questions on the chat. Have they been addressed? If they have been, then it's okay. Anjali says this is a year of whole program. I hope it's a year. Yeah. I think these questions have been already taken. Do we need so Kanchan is asking, do we need the net worth certificate issued by a CA for proof of funds? Kanchan, was this for Canada? If it's for Canada, then definitely yes. If it is for other countries, it's not required. For Ireland, it will help. Ireland, yes, it will help. But for UK and US, you don't need, they will not even accept the net worth certificate issued by the CA. But
Hi Ritu, hi Meenal here. I had a quick question about the US visa. So when students are filling the request form for I-20 and they have to show financial proof, does that financial proof have to be same to the financial proof they show during the visa interview?
Yes. So same as in, of course, it has to be up to date now. So it cannot be the one that they showed that time. It has to be up to date, right? But then the amount should be there. It should not happen that for getting the I-20, they took the loan or they borrowed money and they kind of showed that funding, and now they are not able to show it on the day of the visa interview.
So like a specific case, so during the for getting the I-20, they show personal savings, and during the for the visa interview, like say for example, they're showing a loan sanction letter. So is that fine?
I would not. So suddenly, if you show the loan sanction letter, your I-20 says funding by the parents, right? If it says funding by, because I-20 says how are you funding? So it says parents funding. So if it's parents funding, and now you are saying the parents is not funding because I'm getting it from bank loan, you are already there's a doubt there. Right? So I would still suggest, though it's a bank loan letter and you can still take it, but stick to what I-20 says.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much, Ritu. This has been really helpful and insightful. Thank you.
Yeah, Ritu, I have one question. So coming back to the same thing on a US visa, F1 student visa, though I think we have covered it, but I joined but late, so maybe I would have missed that. So on a student visa, you can work only on campus or even you can work off campus. And same way for UK and all, like with the student visa, students can work like in the campus or off also.
So you're talking about the US?
Yes, basically all 4 countries that you have covered, specifically about US.
Okay, so in the US, the F1 rule clearly says that you cannot work off campus. Okay. You will be allowed to work only on campus for 20 hours a week. Or off campus only in 2 conditions. One, off campus if the place of work is affiliated to your university and then it's considered on campus. Okay. Or second, you have already studied for 1 year and you qualify for the economic hardship rules under which economic hardship waiver, under which you will be able to you will be allowed to work off campus. Otherwise, for F1 students, off campus is not allowed.
Okay, thank you so much. And for UK and Canada and Ireland, students can work?
So Canada students can work off campus during break, unlimited. On campus, they can work 24 hours during academic term and unlimited again during the break. But off campus, they can work only on the break.
Yeah. Thank you. And Ireland?
And Ireland can work 20 hours on campus, and during the academic term, and 40 hours 40 hours during the break on campus.
And no off-campus
No
job.
off-campus. No. Again, the rules
Similar
may,
conditions, yes,
yes,
rules
similar
apply, but
conditions.
it's not easily accessible.
Similar conditions. In UK, you can again work 20 hours.
Okay. And again, no off-campus facilities in UK as well.
On campus mostly.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Ritu. Thank you.
Hi, Ritu, Anu here. I
Hi.
just wanted to just go back to the source of funding. Did I hear it correctly? You said mutual funds is not counted
So mutual funds,
for US.
for US mutual funds, see, traditionally we don't have FDs. So parents will not keep their funds in the savings bank account or FDs. They mostly keep it in investments, mutual funds. So I
Right.
always advise them that you should not have your account. So while the universities are very clear, they have made it very clear that for I-20, they will want saving bank account, FDs, bank loan letters, bank balance certificates, and that's about it. Mutual funds, some universities may take it, some universities may not take it. Most of them will not take it. So I would rather not go that pathway, and I will tell the parents to make sure that their savings bank account has everything.
Is it something recent or you believe this was always so?
This was always, like, for example, Northeastern will say we will accept it, but Boston says we will not accept it. So
But for some reason, I have always been advising, yeah, mutual funds is fine, and it has worked fine.
It has worked. So I'm not saying it will not work, but it is advisable that because universities
converting mutual funds to, cashing them out at
I
won't
agree.
be.
I totally agree, and it's cumbersome for parents. It's loss, loss for the parents when it comes to funding. But yes, this is something that is case basis. Yeah, and this is standard.
So I want to add something on this. See, financial documents, all kind of financial documents in the US work, right? So this is an add-on. If you're even, I mean, if you have good financial documents, you have to show 1 year ka fees, right? So, and if you're even showing FDs and mutual funds, so even if they don't see it and you have it, it's okay.
So as I said, for getting the I-20, in Canada, everything works. But for getting I-20, the universities are very clear, most of them saying that we will, and it is mentioned, what we will see, what we will consider. We will not consider PF statements, will not consider salary slips, will not consider ITRs, we will not consider stocks and investments. We will only consider liquid assets, which is in the form of bank statements or the fixed deposits or the bank loan letter. Mutual funds, we will, some universities may accept it, some universities may not accept it.
It's up to university. Understood. Thank you so much. It was so thorough. You are amazing, man. You had soft.
I hope it was helpful.
It definitely was. And I'll thank on the behalf of all the lot of people who attended, and you did it really thoroughly. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Ritu.
Ritu.
Thank you. Any other questions? I would be happy to help. Otherwise, we can sign it off.
We will keep reaching out to you as and when.
Thanks a lot, Ritu. It was a wonderful, insightful, in fact, session, and we learned so much. Thank you so much for taking that effort.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good day.
To know you.
Good night.
From long way, right? Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Bye, Kanchan. I'll just end this now.
Yeah.